These are some of the reasons why it's impossible to be a narcissist. First reason is that they have an insatiable need for control. A narcissist has a God complex, and they must demonstrate superiority by exercising dominance over every person in their life that they view as a target. Because of this insatiable need, insatiable meaning unable or to be satisfied, they have to go around controlling everyone and everything. This is not possible because there are some people that they simply won't be able to control. There are also things that they will not be able to control. For example, a narcissist might want to be alive forever because they want to be able to control everything that happens in their environment every single second that their heart is beating. But the thing is, it's just not possible. You have to fall asleep whether you like it or not. For a narcissist, usually going to bed is a great battle. That's why they make a fuss every time they wake up, because at the first, they didn't even want to sleep anyway. To them, it's a weakness. To need rest means they are not in control of everything, including in control of power. Anyway, because it's not possible to control everything and everyone, it becomes impossible to become a narcissist. Secondly, narcissists live on illusions, but the illusions are not real. And when reality meets with an illusion, it has a tendency of hitting it like a truck. Now it becomes impossible to become a narcissist because your illusions, which are always upward in life, let's be physically fit always. Let's be rich. Let's be handsome and gorgeous, and let's make it. Let everything work the way we have planned. Let no unfortunate thing happen. But the thing is, reality doesn't care about your illusions. It has a way of coming without asking permission, and like a storm, crushing all illusions. One day you're the fittest, most good looking, strongest person in the gym or whatever. And then you wake up the following day and you have a debilitating disease. Or maybe you're involved in an accident and all of a sudden you simply can't perform the way you used to perform. Or how about this one? This is a good one. You grow older and now you have to retire. You can't perform as optimally as you used to. No matter the efforts that you put into your looks, you just can't look the way you used to. All these illusions are shattered by reality. And because the illusion is what a narcissist pursues, it simply is impossible to be a narcissist. Thirdly, it's also impossible to be a narcissist because it's not possible to keep up the narcissistic mask forever. A narcissist is a split personality. Is a two-faced person walking around the world, creating one impression to one group of people and sort of like the Jekyll and Hyde phenomenon. Another impression, a totally different one, in a dangerous way to another person. Now, it's impossible to keep up this mask of goodness forever because a narcissist is simply a big child, a big baby. What do we know about babies? A baby must get what they want. And if a narcissist cannot get what they want, they must react inappropriately. They will give themselves away. It's impossible for a narcissist to keep up that mask because they cannot regulate themselves internally. When external factors do not go their way, they will act in the most dysregulated manner you've ever seen. Now, if you're dealing with a greater narcissist, this narcissists who usually are in churches or spiritual circles, you might find a narcissist who has tried to really practice on how to hide that mask as much as possible, or to hide the real self as much as possible in the way they react. You will find that where they would blow up immediately, they are trying their best to mitigate their reactions, but it will still show. If you're looking out for it, during the first initial seconds, you must see the slip of the mask. It will show in their facial expressions. You will hear it in their tone if they speak. And even if they don't, you will just sense it. You will see it in the way they behave before they adopt the mask again, pretending that everything is okay. Also, even if they do this, they must continue revealing themselves for who they really are, because later they cannot let it go. They can't let it go. They'll have to find a way to punish you if you're the cause for them not getting what they want. If they needed this adoration, if they needed to be admired, if they needed validation, especially in front of people, but even alone, and you do not give it to them, or for some reason you are the cause, because sometimes you just living in truth reveals them for who they are, even if you're not consciously aware that your life is revealing to the narcissist their darkness. They will still react in a manner to make you pay. Therefore, Hyde will not be able to maintain Jackal impression. It's not possible. He must give himself away. Fourth, it's impossible to be a narcissist because a narcissist is a child of the devil and Satan is a terrible master. Not all narcissists initially are aware that they are serving the devil, but the devil cannot hide himself. He must require subservience from all those who are doing his will in this world. The devil will show up and will require the narcissist to demonstrate submission to him. When this happens, a demon or an entity from the dark world will approach and reveal itself to a narcissist. And the narcissist at this point will know, because they will be having conversation or some sort of struggle with this demonic entity. This is when they awaken to their narcissism. This is when they know for sure that, oh my goodness, I am a servant of the devil. Because during this process where the devil introduces himself to a narcissist, they will require, especially where an empath has been involved with them, that the narcissist do something to take this empath down. Maybe it is an empath who the narcissist has been unable to control or unable to lie to, and the narcissist is now on a vengeful spree. During his dark thoughts and meditations, a demon will appear to him. And while the narcissist might even try to resist the demon at the first, at the end, they always play along. They always end up working together. Because for the narcissist to be able to resist that spirit, he would have to give up his ego, his pride, which is impossible. That pride, if he gave it up, would mean he would have to view that target as an equal or even someone who is higher or more gifted or more clever. And it's just unacceptable to the narcissist to do that. And if it would mean siding with this spiritual entity in order to execute whatever vengeful measures they intend on this specific innocent, they will, and I repeat, they will initiate themselves into a demonic union with Satan. Make no mistake about it, especially in spiritual circles and in churches, and even otherwise, in normal day to day. All the narcissists who continue showing their narcissism, if they ever told you the truth, they would admit that they've been having conversations with the devil. This has happened to me many times on numerous occasions whenever I meet narcissists, because usually I know based on who I am that anytime I come into an encounter with a narcissist, and in the way God uses me, I am usually their last chance. God has been trying to reach them, has been trying to save them, and maybe they've been able to hide from anyone and cover themselves, especially if they are greater narcissists. Whether they're using these institutions or organizations like churches and all these circles to validate themselves and to create a hypocritical picture. But usually, when God brings me into contact with someone, I know based on how I've lived my life and what happens to them after that I'm usually their last chance. Anyway, in my life, I've seen it numerous times, and I've had narcissists confess and admit to me. Even in my recent latest greater narcissist encounter, a man I lived with for 7 months in the same house. Finally, that man had to confess to me, and he just said it outright and admitted to demonic influence in the way he's dealing with me. After that, he went on, was on a very serious smear campaign because he would rather serve the devil than give me my flowers. What happens here is that the devil, who makes these narcissists behave in the way that they do, will require what they require on their targets. And Satan is a terrible master. So it's impossible to be a narcissist because the master that you worship, the master that you serve, will destroy you. The devil does not love even his own. No way. He can delude them. The scripture talks about God sending a strong delusion. Usually he does that by allowing Satan to trick someone who is disobedient and who is hell-bent towards evil. The devil will delude any narcissist who is willing, and they will think that they are having their way. They will think that the things they are pursuing are being fulfilled. You're seeing it even in the arts, in the movie industry. All these people are being taken down left, right, and center. All the time, all musicians, all actors, they have to commit suicide or they have to die in one way or another. I was watching an episode by a YouTube episode where Terrence Howard was being featured. And Terrence Howard was just saying the truth about it. He was being asked, why are these people committing suicide? I know Terrence Howard is the star in the Empire. He's also done movies like The Best Man. He's legit Hollywood. He's not just someone who's talking. He's a legit successful actor. And he describes how in these narcissistic rituals, they require as part of their initiation process, subservience. And some of these subservient requirements come in the form of sexuality, and specifically same-sex sexuality. If you're a man, you have to give up your bum or something. And that's why you see all these actors, because the guilt. You see the Justin Biebers, all these kinds of people who now have to live on pills and antidepressants. It's because they know what they did when Satan came knocking. Satan is a terrible master. And once you start dealing with him, you realize it was not a trivial matter. When at the end, he will require your life. It's impossible to be a narcissist because the devil will kill you. Fifth and final for today, it is impossible to be a narcissist because of the inevitable encounter with a super empath in this world. In this world, narcissists are rampant, but there's a group of people called the super empaths. The super empath is not a prideful title. It actually has a meaning. A super empath is an empath who has gone through narcissistic abuse and through it has been able to awaken to the reality of narcissism around him and the reality of the nature of empathy. Also, a super empath has done the work to heal themselves, and on top of that, gaining the knowledge to be able to tell out a narcissist from a crowd or from people they deal with, And more importantly, for an empath to be a super empath, they are out there sensitizing people from a competent standpoint about this subject of narcissism. That is the description of a super empath. So these coaches you see, these people who are online talking about this topic and sensitizing people to the dangers and empowering people by validating them and equipping them with information, and sometimes even more than just information. Those are the super empaths in this world. And when the super empaths meet with narcissists, narcissists have a really rough time. Because a super empath is not someone who can be controlled, is not someone who can be lied to, is not someone who can be dominated and cannot be tricked. They see the narcissist for who they are. A super empath is also a truth teller. They are not unable or afraid to call narcissists out on their narcissism. It's impossible to become a narcissist in this world, because at one point in this life, you will have a date with destiny. You will meet an empath who has become a super empath, who will call you out for who you are, because they will see you they will be able to see you behind the mask. And not only will they be able to see it, they will be able to handle all the demonic attacks, all the smear campaigns, all the injustices and dangers, all the attacks you will level against them as a narcissist. Now, this is not something a narcissist can handle. Because of meeting a super empath, the narcissist has two choices. They either have to crush the super empath, or they have to crush their narcissism. From both medical, psychological, and spiritual circles, it is well documented that narcissists never change. Therefore, because they won't change, inevitably, they will try to take out a super empath, which is the biggest mistake all narcissists must inevitably make. Because behind the super empath, there is also a spiritual team that defends them. For a while, they might think they're getting away with how they mistreat the super empath in their lives. But one day they will wake up, like I said earlier, reality will hit them like a truck, because they will realize that the angelic forces that are defending this empath have been attacking are way more powerful than the demonic forces that I have been serving. That is when they will start experiencing danger, storms, and problems beyond anything they can imagine. Because you see, once you entangle with a super empath, you're challenging spiritual entities, which are more powerful than your spiritual entities as a narcissist. Because of these reasons, it becomes impossible to be a narcissist. It's not sustainable on earth. This is the reason as they grow older, they become worse, and inevitably, all narcissists die terrible deaths. It's not possible to be a narcissist in this world. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you for joining me today. Be strong. You'll be fine.